That morning drink you absolutely rely on to feel normal is highly likely the exact reason you feel like absolute garbage without it. We all know the cycle. You wake up exhausted, so you force down a coffee to feel human. By mid-morning, you crash, so you have another. By 2 p.m., you're completely wired but somehow unable to focus on a single email. And by 11 p.m., you're lying in bed with a buzzing brain, wondering why sleep feels physically impossible. That constant low-level burnout and baseline anxiety are direct physical symptoms of a hormonally hijacked biological system. Your daily routine has effectively overwritten your natural chemistry. To understand why, we need to look at this graph tracking a single day of your body's built-in alarm system. Roughly 30 to 45 minutes after you open your eyes, your cortisol levels naturally spike. Scientists call this the cortisol awakening response. It's a clean, internal espresso shot designed to sharpen your focus and mobilize your energy for the day. Caffeine doesn't actually give you energy. It creates the illusion of wakefulness by blocking a chemical in your brain called adenosine, the exact compound that builds up over the day to make you feel sleepy. But the sabotage happens next. Caffeine also forces your adrenal glands to pump out extra cortisol, layering a massive artificial stress spike directly on top of the natural morning wave your body was already producing. When you force that reaction every single day, for months or years, your adrenal glands eventually adapt to the chemical abuse. Your beautiful, natural morning cortisol wave flattens out entirely into a low, erratic baseline. By drinking coffee the absolute second you wake up, you are doubling down on a system that is already running. Over time, that completely breaks your body's natural, independent ability to wake itself up. So, what happens when you cut it out entirely for 14 days? Day 1 hits you like a mild bus. You get severe brain fog, your mood sits somewhere around quiet rage, and a persistent headache sets in right behind your eyes. That brain fog is purely chemical. The massive backlog of sleep-inducing adenosine that your daily coffee was blocking suddenly floods straight back into your brain's receptors, all at exactly the same time. And that headache you feel? Daily caffeine keeps the blood vessels in your brain slightly constricted. Remove the caffeine, and those channels rapidly dilate and expand. The rush of blood flow is where the pounding comes from. Meanwhile, your cortisol levels are completely confused. You've removed the artificial crutch they've relied on for years, and your body literally doesn't remember how to generate enough momentum to wake you up. Most people tap out by day 3, yet this physical misery signals that a mechanical recalibration is finally underway. Your nervous system is sitting in the dark, relearning how to regulate itself without a crutch. Around day 4, the fog starts to lift, the headaches ease up, and almost universally, people who quit caffeine notice something totally surprising. Their sleep becomes drastically deeper. This chart maps the hormonal tug-of-war at night. A 3 p.m. coffee keeps cortisol artificially elevated, actively suppressing your sleep hormone, melatonin. Remove afternoon caffeine, and cortisol plummets naturally. Melatonin surges, body temperature drops, and you cycle through deep and REM sleep entirely uninterrupted. Repairing your sleep architecture overnight directly fuels a stronger, entirely natural cortisol awakening response the very next morning. True morning energy is built while you sleep. By the end of week 2, we hit the most interesting phase of the entire experiment. This is where we have to talk about the connection between your daily caffeine intake and your baseline level of anxiety. Cortisol and adrenaline are your body's threat response chemicals. They are incredibly useful if a car swerves into your lane on the highway. But forcing artificial spikes of those chemicals day after day traps your nervous system in a mild, persistent threat state. Everything feels slightly more urgent and significantly harder to shake off. As the second week wraps up, that background hum of stress begins to genuinely quiet down. Without the daily chemical bombardment, your adrenal glands finally settle back into a clean, gradual rhythm. What many of us have passively accepted for years as an anxious personality is often a chronic, physiologically exhausting stress loop, entirely fueled by our favorite morning stimulant. A 14-day reset serves as an experiment to find your biological baseline. This period allows you to treat tiredness as a natural signal from your body, rather than a crisis that requires a chemical override. If you do go back to coffee, you need a protocol. Step 1. Hydration first. Your cortisol rhythm is highly sensitive to dehydration. Drinking a large glass of water immediately upon waking stabilizes your hormones before any other substance enters your system. Step 2 is the 90-minute delay. This is non-negotiable. Wait for your natural cortisol awakening response to peak before adding any outside stimulant. When you wait 90 minutes, you add caffeine to an already rising wave, rather than forcing your body to manufacture energy from scratch. Step 3. Beverage swaps. The psychological comfort of a hot morning drink is powerful, so preserve the ritual. Swap the coffee for herbal tea, hot water with lemon, or a caffeine-free alternative, so you don't feel chemically punished while your body wakes up. And step 4. Establish a firm 2 p.m. cutoff. Because of caffeine's 6-hour half-life, drinking coffee late in the afternoon guarantees that the chemical will still be destroying your sleep architecture when your head hits the pillow. Mastering your own biology places you back in charge of your energy. When you understand how cortisol functions, you stop letting a morning stimulant dictate how you feel and start making decisions based on what your body actually needs.